beginning, there was a huge bird of the vulture kind whose name was Moloch, the California condor. His home was on the mountain called Om-Yom-Bali, whence he could look out over the world, westerly over the San Francisco Bay and the great ocean, easterly over the Tules and the broad, flat Joaquin Valley. Every morning Moloch went off to hunt, and every evening he came back to roost on a large rock on the east side of the mountain. One morning he noticed that something was the matter with the rock, but did not know what the trouble was or what to do for it. So he went off to consult the doctors. The doctors were brothers, two dark, snipe-like little birds who lived in a small creek near the foot of the mountain. He told them his rock was sick and asked them to go with him, and he led them to it. When they saw the rock, they said, "The rock is your wife. She is going to give you a child," and added, "We must make a big fire." Then all three set to work packing wood. They worked hard and brought a large quantity and made a big fire. Then they took hold of the rock, tore it loose, rolled it into the fire, and piled more wood around it. When the rock became hot, it burst open with a great noise, and from the inside out darted Week-Week, the falcon. As he came out, he said, "Week," and passed on swiftly without stopping. He flew over all the country, north, south, east, and west, to see what it was like. Scientists speak of the important connectivity of ecological processes that exist between Diablo and the Delta, while most of us speak of it as home. Our home is no longer a wild place of grizzlies, elk, antelope, and native peoples, and it can never be again. We have sacrificed the primeval. Without this sacrifice, we would not be here today. As we have grown, we have also learned that we can better manage ourselves to protect and restore our natural resources for continued prosperity, health, and happiness. It is even possible to regain some of the wilderness we have lost. If we do not step up, who will? People are well aware that the cowboy and Indian movies are not representative of the American Indians. These movie portrayals, which are very loosely based on the various Plains Indian tribes, are even more dramatically dissimilar to the California Indians. Central California tribes were bound together in the Miwok Nation and subdivided into tribelets of 45 to 150 members. Mount Diablo was the religious icon and sacred focus of worship for the Miwok Nation. It was the mythical home of the gods, the beginning of the world, the spiritual center for the Miwoks. How odd to be named Devil. Mount Diablo influenced the native Indians. It was their spiritual icon, where the abstract meaning becomes real, becomes accessible, becomes visible, becomes imaginable because it is connected with a real place that we can see. Today that influence is still potent. Today the mountain remains an important and meaningful place for many Indians, a visible reminder of sacred time. However, it is not only the modern Indian that feels that power of Diablo. As modern explorers delve through Diablo's path of time, one becomes connected with the past. Current residents mourn the loss of the elk and the antelope, and they strive to protect the condor. They mourn the loss of innocence and the forced migration of the Aboriginal inhabitants, and cheer their strength in fighting back against a suppressor. They gaze from the peak and are awed by the view, and remember what once was. They listen to the stillness in the valleys, and soak in the silence as inhabitants remember the past.